Hello, welcome back to another video. So as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, today we're going to be reviewing Alphalete's new drop. It's the heat drop and it's been getting a lot of heat online, so I'm kind of actually wanting to talk more about that first before I get into my review. The drop is happening on the 27th of July, this Saturday, 12 PM CST, 6 PM UK time. This drop is definitely the most controversial drop that Alphalete have done since I've been with them. I posted the link to this PDF on Instagram. I've never had a reaction like that before. I don't think there was one single positive reaction. Now, as people are seeing the pieces on people more, some people do genuinely like it. And that's something that I do want to say straight away, is that this video is going to be my opinions. It's my review, peace and love in the nicest way possible. It's my opinions, it's my review. It's going to be keeping my taste in mind, what I'm comfortable wearing, what I want to wear, and ultimately my opinions. I would not want anyone to watch this video and then if they really like something feel uncomfortable about it or feel weird about it. Like, if you like something, please go and buy it. I am not God, I am not baby Jesus. You guys can use this video and hate, maybe I fucking hate a feature of something for a very specific reason, and you might think, oh my god, that's going to work perfectly for me. I know it will be hard to believe, but I'm literally going to pop comments and DMs on the screen. Some people do genuinely like the underwear look. Me personally, spoiler alert, it's not for me. I really don't like it. It makes me feel very uncomfortable, and it's very uncomfortable, which we'll get on to. We've got a lot of coochie weird fanny chats in this video. I'm really sorry. There's no polite way of putting it. In response to this, I had so many frustrations aired to me about Alphalete recently, and I kind of want to give a little bit of context but also just explain a little bit more. So first of all, this is the first Tenacity bottoms drop, which is a brand new fabric that they launched in the last launch, but they only did sports bras. We were meant to have a normal Tenacity bottom without the coochie fanny puss lines on them by now. Unfortunately, there was an issue with those bottoms which meant that they had to pull them and not release them. So this in theory should have been like a fun drop. I'm not sure about that, but a fun drop to supplement an already basic version of the Tenacity bottoms. We don't have that, so in my opinion this drop looks even worse. To people who are curious about the Tenacity bottoms, they will be coming at some point. I'm not sure when, and I don't want to make promises because I feel like I'm always told things and then things change and I look like a dickhead because I look like I'm talking absolute waffle. So I'm not making promises on timelines, but I do know for a fact there are Tenacity bottoms coming without the lines on them. So if you like this fabric, you've tried the sports bras, or you're intrigued by the fabric, you will be able to try it without the lines. Now, a lot of the concerns that I've had recently are people just feeling like Alphalete hasn't been the same recently, and also when I dropped this PDF, you guys were really fucking frustrated with them, and I actually fully understand it. Like, I know from seeing what I saw, I went to Houston and I saw what's coming up. I know full zip jackets are coming. I know a core basics line of like tight fitting t-shirts in different styles is coming. I know we've got more cute bras, like think more like aura strappy vibes are coming. I know they're working on some higher support bras. Everything that people are like concerned about, they're working on performance leggings, they're working on more cut and sew leggings, they're working on more non-scrunch leggings, trying to do like hidden scrunch stuff. Everything that people are expressing that they want under glute compression, they're working on it. And I think we should see, again, I don't want to make promises, but we should see some of those pieces at least before the end of 2024. But I knew that this wasn't going to go down well, because for the exact same reason that the mesh pants and the mesh pieces in the last drop didn't go down well, it looks like, and I would feel the exact same way, like I'm coming at this from a consumer point of view, at the moment it just looks like Alphalete aren't listening to their customers at all. People have been asking for a full zip jacket for years, like a plain tight fitting full zip jacket, like a Lululemon jacket, like an Honor Active Timeless jacket for years. We don't have one. People have been asking for core basic lines of like tight fitting t-shirts that you can wear to the gym, outside of the gym. We don't have it. People have been asking for non-scrunch options. We don't really have that like staple non-scrunch legging other than Aura, but that's not really suitable for training. It looks and feels like Alphalete aren't listening to their consumers, and it's pissing people off. Like, I will put in a little meme that someone put in my Discord group, and I have expressed this to them. I've told them they're teeing off their customers, they're teeing off their consumers, because it looks like you are just not listening and just throwing random launches at the wall to see what sticks. And you know what? A Core Basics line of t-shirts, is it that interesting? No. More mini sports bras, is it that interesting? No. Some like good high coverage but really flattering higher support bras, is it that like groundbreaking? No. A full zip jacket, is it groundbreaking? No. But it's what people want. People have been angling for brights, and we're finally starting to get brights, but they've got underwear lines on. So the people that then wanted brights are now like, oh well, I did want brights, but I don't want the underwear lines. Like, it just, I completely understand people's frustrations. I don't ever want it to come across as though I don't. Like, I fully understand it. I'm just speaking personally, like from working with the brand, like I've been with alphalete for nearly 5 years. I've been exclusive to them for nearly 5 years. It's been a really long time me working with them, and I will admit, like, I've never seen this much like frustration or like lack of hype, and I totally understand it, because like I've just said, it looks like they are just not listening to their consumers at all. I want you guys to know that they are listening. I really wish they weren't taking so long to get this basic stuff out, because in the meantime they're dropping stuff like this, which it will be up some people's streets, but it's not going to be up the people's streets that are requesting the super basic stuff, which is the vast majority of people, or like the people that want brights but they didn't want them with these lines on, for example. I'm starting to get really anxious when it comes to doing my reviews. I still love doing them. I will always do them. I love doing them. I've been with alphalete exclusive for nearly 5 years now. Like, I've been with them a really long time, and I love them. I love the people. I believe in them. Like, I believe, I've seen what they're capable of. Like, they completely innovated when it came to Amplify. It's just a shame that they sort of didn't innovate again since then, and now everyone's got their own version of Amplify and they've just not moved on from that. I know that you guys come to me for honest reviews. You want to hear what's worth it and what's not worth it, and I will always provide you guys with honest reviews. But honestly, like, it's making me anxious, because I feel like every single review, I don't want to say I've been super negative, but there hasn't been a drop for a while that I've been like really hype about. Like, I was so excited for them to go back to their original manufacturer for Amplify, for example. So excited for that, like, to get that sort of original yarn back. And yes, the original yarn is back, but now there's issues with the scrunch, there's issues with the rise, there's issues, a lot of people are having issues with the fit. Like, it's fine on me, but a lot of other people are having issues with the fit. So even that had like the shine removed from it, because they fixed one thing and then there was a boatload of other issues. And I never ever want it to come across as though like I hate the brand, or I'm bashing the brand, or I don't care about the brand. The reason why I review the way that I do is because I actually really do care about the brand. I want them to have that peak again. I want them to have that hype again. I want people to be excited about alphalete again. I want you guys to be excited about alphalete again. Like, of course I want that, but I cannot in good faith hype up a launch that I don't love. Even when it comes to like getting content and stuff for this launch, for example, I'm so uncomfortable in the bodysuits and the bottoms that I'm like, I don't know how I meant to get content in this stuff, because it's making me really, like, the pieces just make me feel really uncomfortable, especially front on. I can get a good back selfie, but front on I'm like, oh, I don't know about these. And yeah, like, the way I've review things has been putting me in a little bit of an awkward spot recently. I'll just be completely honest, it's put me in a little bit of an awkward position. But I can't, like, if I start coming on here and being like, yeah, like the girl who wears brown religiously, the most neutral boring outfits in the world, loves looking like she's got underwear on the outline of her shorts, you guys are going to be like, Amy, that's fucking bullshit. If I start saying that things that are completely see-through are not completely see-through, you guys are going to pick up on that. Like, you're going to pick up on that, and ultimately you guys are my big boss. Like, the reason why alphalete want to work with me is because of how much you guys trust me, and that comes from the way that I do reviews, and I just can't change that. Like, I can't. I have to be completely honest with you guys. And I just want to say as well how important it is, and I'm not saying to rush out and buy any of this stuff, because honestly this is my least favourite launch I think they've ever had in the whole time that I've been with them. There's elements of it that I like, but this is probably my least favourite launch that they've done in the entire like nearly 5 years that I've been with them. So yeah, I'm not saying go and spend your money on this launch, but what I am saying is the people whose reviews you go back to time and time again, that you trust, that you love, please make sure that in any way possible, whether it's thumbs up in a video, commenting on a video, letting a brand know that you appreciate how much work someone does or how honest someone is, using their code if you do like some of the pieces. I cannot express enough how important that is, because honestly, especially recently with like cuts that are being made and stuff, things are shifting around a lot. Like, I cannot explain enough how important that is, because being honest, especially on a drop where you really don't love much about it, it doesn't pay well. That's a good thing, right? Like, that's why I do these videos, to save you guys money, to let you know what's worth it, what's not worth it, what sort of sizing you should be doing. If I hate something, you might think I love that feature, so therefore I'm going to love it because I know that Amy hates it and we've got opposite preferences. If I love something, equally you might think if Amy loves it, I'm going to hate it because we've got opposite preferences. Equally, if I love something, you might really trust my opinion, we might have the same preferences, you might love it and you might go and buy it. Like, ultimately I am trying to save you guys as much money as possible. Like, I'm not going to throw away over 5 years of trust that I've built up with you guys just to stay in the job. Do you know what I mean? Like, what will be will be. I can't change the way that I do my reviews, but yeah, I just wanted to put that insert in because honestly, like, the context around the drop I do think is helpful, but also it's just something that I feel like has been very apparent with my reviews recently, and I never ever ever want it to come across as though I'm ungrateful or I don't like working with the brand or I hate the brand. Like I said, if anything, it's the opposite. Like, it's just frustrations because I know when they get a product right, they can get it so right, and I want to see more of that from them. I'm well aware that like multiple people would bite my hand off to take this opportunity from me. I know that they would. I know I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for such a long-term partnership. I'm very grateful for such a long-term relationship. It's my longest relationship ever. Claps for me. But my longest relationship is with you guys, and I'm not going to put this above that. Like, you guys have to come first. Alright, it's actually a little bit later in the video, but I'm gonna pop this in here because I just wanted to say as well how fucking appreciative I am of you guys who are just sticking around for me at this point, because I have had a lot of messages from people saying that you just don't feel like alphalete are listening anymore, but you still watch my reviews because you find them entertaining, or you watch my vlogs, or like you found me through alphalete but you've stayed for other reasons, like you like me, you like the content I post, you like the things that I speak about outside of alphalete. And I just want to say I appreciate you just as much, even if you are not shopping from alphalete anymore. Like, you guys got me in this position with alphalete originally, even if you're not, you know, keeping me in that position. I appreciate it so fucking much because it has been a life-changing opportunity. And I just wanted to say, like, if you're watching this, like, I don't want anyone to feel bad, I don't want anyone to feel guilty, I don't want anyone to feel like bad about, you know, not being able to support me with the brand anymore. Like, please know I fully get it. Like, the reason I started doing these reviews was to be honest and to save you guys money. So I would feel awful if you guys were buying things that you weren't interested in just to support me. Like, it's never that deep. I'll be fine. I'm like a cat with 9 lives, I guess. I always seem to land on my feet, fingers crossed. But I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you. If you are watching this and you don't buy from alphalete anymore or anything like that, like, it means the fucking world to me, and I appreciate you just as much. That is why I will always do giveaways that have nothing to do with codes, etc, etc, etc. I appreciate all of you equally. Okay, let's get into the drop. I'm gonna pop the PDF here so that you guys can see everything that's dropping, and I will pop my measurements here for reference, and I'll also pop like my fit preference on just so you guys know how I like things to fit typically, so that you've got my measurements but also my fit preferences. Another thing that I am going to link below is actually I've started making Google Drives for launches because people were finding tapping through like a million Instagram story highlights quite stressful. So I actually now make Google Drives. So the Google Drive, I will pop like a screen recording here, but it's got the colour comparisons and the colour wheels in full, because I know a lot of you don't have Instagram. It's got all the measurements of all the pieces in full, and it's all labelled so you can see exactly what the product is. It's got my Lemsip stand tests because my camera, because of how bright these are, it's completely blown out the squat test and they look more squat proof than they are. Again, I could sit here and be like they're completely squat proof, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. They're not. The brights are like quite sheer actually, even standing up, even in a size up. So they are in there. And also, you guys know I've started putting like footnotes. I've been doing it for nearly a year now. At the end of each product, just to give you like a roundup, I've now started to put those into like a full document, and also that document contains a rundown of the Tenacity fabric, comparisons to all other brands, comparisons to other alphalete cut and sew fabrics, just so that you guys have got all that information there, because I don't want to have to go through that again. I spent a lot lot of time in my last YouTube video talking about the Tenacity fabric. So with that being said, this video here, I will pop a little screenshot of what the thumbnail looks like and the name. If you want it really in depth, I highly recommend you go and watch that video. I'm not going to do it as in depth. I will briefly touch on the fabric, but if you want like all the comparisons to other brands, really in depth on the fabric, highly recommend that you go and watch my last review where it was the first Tenacity drop. And again, I will leave that link down below as well for you guys. Another disclaimer that I usually give, but I don't really feel like I need to give it with this one just because of the reaction I've had, is don't overconsume. I have a lot of stuff here, but this is not normal. Influencers having this amount of stuff is honestly high-key gross, which I've spoken about a lot recently. You don't need to have this much activewear. If you were to consume at the same rate as like what an influencer does, you would honestly spend like upwards of like 30k a year on activewear. You're not going to use it all, you're not going to wear it all. Pick the pieces that you know you are going to wear and love, and yeah, just make sure that you are looking after yourself financially, mentally. If you are finding that you are getting really like overwhelmed by activewear brands, unfollow them on Instagram, unfollow their influencers, even if that means me. I don't mind, I'm happy to be cut from the chopping board. Put people on mute, whatever you need to do to stop yourself stressing. Like, it's just activewear, it's never that deep. Obviously we like to go deep and in depth on here, but it's realistically it's never that deep. You don't need everything. Like I said, I don't really feel like I need that disclaimer in this video, but just in case anyone finds this drop right up their street, just make sure like you're watching what you're spending. You don't need to have every single piece in every single colour. Just a slight repeat of the disclaimer that I gave at the start. Just because I don't like something, it doesn't mean someone else can. I don't want, just because I've said I don't like something, it doesn't, I'm not God, I'm not Jesus, I am not like holier than thou. Just because I don't like something and someone else does, it doesn't mean they're lying. I would also really appreciate if just because someone else doesn't like something and I like something, it doesn't mean I'm lying. I would appreciate that being remembered as well. I would also appreciate just the fact that like people are going to have different opinions on things. I really believe with this drop in particular, personal preference and style plays probably the biggest role, and comfortability in whether you are going to like this drop or not. And some people do genuinely like it. Like, people have been messaging me saying that it reminds them of like when Buff Bunny did a similar thing and they really liked them, so they're really excited for it. Ultimately, this is my review and I can't like give everyone's opinion, because if I do that I will be sat here for hours, which I'm gonna be sat here for hours anyway, let's be so fucking for real. But also, just so that you guys know, alphalete do watch these videos. Like, the people at alphalete do watch reviews, they do read the comments. So if you have feedback for them on anything in this launch or anything you want to see, leave it in the comments, because I'm sure that they will go through them. I'm sure that they will find their way to this video and they will go through them. So if you do have any feedback for them, please leave it in the comments. You can always DM me on Instagram as well. Like, I do pass on a lot of your guys' feedback. Like, when I was in Houston and I saw this drop and then I saw like some of the future stuff, like I did panic a little bit, because I was like, I just knew what the reaction would be. Like, the meme that someone put in my Discord was honestly like, it summed it up perfectly. I said to them like, people are going to be very confused as to how we don't have a full zip jacket, but we do now have mesh flares and underwear lined shorts. Like, it's gonna piss people off. Like, I've really tried to relay your guys' requests. Contour shorts wanting to come back, but in like a brights run, doing colours like cotton candy, emerald green, brights like this. I know that that's what people want, and I've tried to like relay that as much as possible. The core basics, like being able to get to a point where, like, on the overconsumption note, I'm dying to do a capsule wardrobe video for activewear, but obviously being exclusive, it needs to all be alphalete. Right now I can't do that video. Like, that's a problem. We like, they should, you know, they should be able to cater for all. They need to be catering for multiple comfortabilities, not every single item being incredibly cropped, not every single bra being incredibly itty bitty, equally not every single bra being too big for small chests, narrow chests, equally having some more modest options, equally having some scrunch options for people that love it, trying to work on that under glute compression, equally having some non-scrunch options or some hidden scrunch options for people that aren't as comfortable. Just having more options would be great, because at the moment it feels like it's just amplify, and I'm over amplify personally. I will always wear it, but I'm wearing my contour shorts and my Aura bikers and that's pretty much it. That's all I've been wearing recently. So any requests, leave them below. I will either pass them on or they will read the comments and they will see it. Like, I promise you that. Okay, so I'm gonna go over colours first. So for this drop we have got 5 colours come in, and these are all new colours. These 2 in particular are incredibly unique for alphalete. I'm gonna go through the colours one by one first, and then we'll go over swatch tests. I'll touch on fabric, and then we'll get into the full review. But first up, you have got Solar, which this, like, the camera is really blowing this out, like completely blowing this out. I'm gonna see actually if I can alter the brightness, if that shows up. This is kind of more similar, but even then it's still looking a bit dark. Like, it's bright. Like, this is, if you grabbed a yellow highlighter right now and you put it on paper, that is what colour this is. It's a very unique colour. It makes colours like Citrus Frost, even like Aurora, it makes them look dull in comparison, and those were quite bright colours at the time for alphalete. This is by far probably their most fluorescent colour they've ever done. I've never seen them do a colour like this before. So with that being said, it is a unique colour. It's quite hard to pair, I'm not gonna lie, it's quite hard to pair with things. If you're a brights girl, it probably won't be as difficult, but toning this down is a little bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. You can put it with greys, especially light greys or like creamy tones, it goes quite well, but it clashes with quite a lot of other neutral shades. You could try it with like a really dark green, I think that's quite cute, but I would say this is complemented most by other brights, or if you want to go down the neutral road, you're going to want to try and pair it with greys. It doesn't, sadly, it doesn't go with sand. Not everything goes with sand, shock horror. Colour, and obviously this is in the Tenacity fabric, so this is completely solid. Like, there is no marl to this whatsoever. It is bright. I think this is going to look incredible on deeper skin tones in particular. The second sort of highlighter colour, and I feel like you can tell how flattering this is just when I even hold it up to my face. This is Heat. Now, this is kind of like an orange highlighter colour, but honestly, like, it is coral, I would say, because when you put this next to Pixel Pink, for example, it looks orange, but when you put it next to oranges like Dreamsicle, it looks more coral. It's kind of giving orange highlighter with a bit more pink in it, in my opinion. Again, it's incredibly bright, it's incredibly hard for it to capture on camera. On camera it shows up a bit more pink, honestly, than it is in person. It's a little more orange in person, but just be aware it's kind of correlate. This is a unique colour for alphalete. They don't have anything like this, and again, this is in the Tenacity fabric, so there is no marl to it. It's completely solid in colour. Like, even in the Amplify tank that it's coming in, by the way, these are pretty much the exact same colour. They're like maybe a shade off, but on it looks like a matching set. You really can't tell. I almost feel like the camera is making it look more different than it is. These are very, very, very similar, but yeah, even in the Amplify tank, it's not marled. It's a very, very, very solid colour. Again, I always say with seamless, if you look close enough, you'll see a marl, but from a distance, there's no marl to this whatsoever. It's a completely solid colour. And in terms of pairings for this, I actually think this pairs quite nicely with other brights. I really like it with like pink sort of tones as well. I'll do my lookbook so that you guys can see it like tried on with some stuff. But again, if you want to tone this down, I would recommend that you put it with greys, not browns, to neutralise it, or even like Grand Central Linen, like a really creamy colour, but nothing too brown because it's going to clash. Again, not the easiest to pair, but I would say this is easier than Solar. So if you were stuck between the two and you've got more of a limited wardrobe, I would go with Heat personally. It makes a tan pop, and again, I think this is more universally flattering on a lot of skin tones, but again, I really feel like this is going to look the best on like a super deep, dark, gorgeous skin tone. But yeah, that is Heat. For the greens in this drop, you've actually got 2 different shades, and they are called different things. So the Tenacity pieces are coming in the colour Viberina. I don't know how you say that word, but it's this sort of rich olive green. Now, when I saw this on the PDF, I was like, it's giving oak, it's giving willow. Putting this next to Oak and Willow, it makes Oak and Willow look grey. It makes Dusty Green look grey. It makes Noble Green look grey. This is actually... Alphalete have got a lot of greens and blues, I'm not going to lie, especially after the birthday sale. They've got a lot of greens. However, this is a unique green for them. It's a very rich olive green. Like, this is definitely the richest like this looks like a dark green olive, basically, like fresh out of a packet. It's a rich olive green shade, so it is unique to other alphalete greens. I'm not going to say it's the exact same. If you've got all the other greens but you like this colour, you've definitely got room for it. And then you've got agave, which is, again, it's a very similar sort of colour. I'm assuming they've named them differently because they're not the exact same, like they are definitely different. But this comes in the seamless tank. This is the agave colour. It's just slightly darker and a little bit less rich, but again, different to all the other alphalete greens. Definitely probably the most wearable colour of this drop. I would say it goes with the most, it clashes with the least. It goes with a lot of greens, it goes with neutrals, it goes with browns, it goes with creams, it goes with a lot of colours. So yeah, this is definitely the easiest colour to wear and the least bright from this drop. Other than black and white, obviously, but you don't need to see what goes with black and white. You guys aren't dumb. It goes with pretty much everything. And again, agave, it doesn't really have a marl to it. I feel like if you look at any colour close enough, it's got a marl, but honestly, not really. I've then got Blaze and Photon. So these are the two purples. I would definitely say between this and the greens, the purples are definitely actually more different. In terms of the Tenacity fabric versus the seamless. So Blaze is coming in Tenacity pieces, Photon is coming in the cotton pieces and the seamless tank, which is what I've got here. And again, it's solid. Like, yeah, if you look up close with any seamless fabric, I feel like you can see a slight marl, but yeah, this is a solid purple. In terms of what colour this is closest to, I would say Aura Aster, but slightly darker. It's a lot more purple than Dove. It almost makes Dove look a little bit grey in comparison. And in terms of Blaze, this is definitely a unique purple. It's completely different to the other purples that they've got. It's a lot brighter. It's not like a neon purple, but it is a lot brighter than the other purples that they have in this drop. And I know that the lighting right now, because it's super gloomy outside, but I've got to film this video, is a little grey looking, but all my like colour comparisons and try on clips are very accurate and true to colour. So, and again, Blaze is coming in the Tenacity fabric, so it's completely solid, no marling whatsoever. So all in all, pretty unique colours from alphalete in this drop. I'm not gonna lie, there isn't any that are like bang on a match for another one, which is a feat, because I feel like alphalete have done a lot of colours at this point, but they are genuinely all different to previous colours from alphalete. Here I'm going to pop in my lookbook just so that you guys, you know, for example, if you like the colours but you maybe only want to pick up a bra but you're struggling with what you would pair the brights with, I'm going to pop in my lookbook here. I've done a lookbook for every single colour so that you can see what sort of colours things pairs with, and especially with the bottoms being so controversial in this drop, I've done most of the try on clips with the bras and then matching bottoms ideas, because I know the bras and the vests might be more accessible to people than the bottoms are, so that's why I made that decision to do new tops, old bottoms for most of the lookbook. But yeah, enjoy the lookbook.
Okay, so doing heat first, just to show you how well the tank matches with the bottoms. It's a very, very, very close match. I can't really tell a difference. If you wanted to tone it down, you can pair it with a white bra, or like I've said in the speaking portion, like greys, it goes really well with if you wanted to do grey bottoms, heat top. Then I've popped it with Pixel Pink. I really like this together because they're both sort of coral leaning, but heat's just brighter. I really like it with Cotton Candy. It's giving sweet, it's giving candy, if you'll pardon the pun. Citrus Frost, I really like this together. I wish that these weren't so sheer because I actually really like this outfit. I then tried the heat bottoms with the Aurora top from the last drop, in case anyone is interested in the bottoms. Then moving on to Solar, I put it with Citrus Frost. I feel like this goes really well together. Slightly brighter, but it still goes. Really like it with Neptune. Courtney suggested Sapphire to me, but I actually preferred Neptune when I pulled it out. I really like how this looks. Cotton Candy, again, I just think this looks so banging with a tan. Really like it with Emerald Green as well. This outfit really reminds me of Liz. Like, this is a Liz outfit. This outfit I did with Reggio because yellow and purple, if you know, you know, it just goes together, like it just does. I then did Blaze with Reggio, like a tonal purple, and I really liked how this turned out. Then I did it with Emerald Green. It's definitely giving Barney vibes, but I kind of like it, I think. One for the brights ladies, and then with Nebula as well, sort of more of like a purple on purple sort of vibe. Then moving on to Agave and Verbena, just so you know, this is how they look together. I think it looks completely fine. Then I did Agave with Central Park Contour, which again I really like. Then I did Agave with Grand Central Contour. I love this outfit. I think it looks really, really, really nice. Then with Birchwood, quite similar, but a little bit more green. Again, really like it. Then I did the Verbena shorts with a cashmere bra. I love this. Like, I really like this outfit. And I also actually really like it with the Aster Aura as well. But yeah, that's my lookbook.
Now let's go over squat proofness. So in terms of the least squat proof, it's the neon colours. Now I'm going to pop my squat test in here. Left hand side I will put normal, right hand side I will pop my Lemsip test, which I started doing after my tea bag test when I lost my tea bag, so now we do a Lemsip test. It's actually like a really good packet to use because it's got like green and purple and it's very dark, so it's a pretty good test, I'm not gonna lie. But I could easily sit here and say to you guys, based off this squat test, that these are a lot more squat proof than they are, because my camera and any camera, the same thing happened with Citrus Frost, will struggle with neon colours. It sort of blows the camera out. This is just an FYI for when you're watching hauls and someone's telling you that a neon colour that you're a bit concerned about is completely fine in a squat test. Bright colours can really blow out the saturation. It makes it really hard to see how squat proof something actually is. I could easily lie to you and say these are like, you know, 80% squat proof. I'm going to pop in my pictures here so that you guys can see. These aren't even stand-up proof. You can see the label and you can also see the Lemsip patch in both of them as well. And the heat colour, just for reference, is actually a medium, so that's in a size up as well, and you can still see it. You can see the label. Now, one thing that is important to note is that the bottoms are actually double lined through the underwear lines at the front. It's all double lined here, so this is all double lined. The leg is single, but all here is double lined. The back in the thong lines, this bit is double lined as well. So in terms of like squat test, you're not going to see a thong even in the neon colours because it's double lined there. But the cheek part, where your bum cheek is single lined. The gusset is also double lined, so if that gives anyone like extra confidence in wearing these on a leg day, because I'm assuming most people might go commando in these, the gusset is double lined as well, so that's going to protect your modesty. This is more so for people that have like thigh or glute tattoos. Just be aware that it will show through on the bum cheek in the neon colours. You are going to be able to see it because they're not even stand-up proof, so just keep that in mind. But in terms of like protecting your modesty, honestly, you are going to be fine in all the colours in this drop because it is double lined. Like, you can't see anything through that. Just be aware on the solar colour, I didn't notice it in heat, but on the solar colour you can definitely see a slight colour difference between the underwear panel and the leg, because it's quite sheer in the leg. You can see nude underwear through the leg part as well, so you would need to go commando if you were picking up the solar colour. So yeah, solar and heat are the least squat proof. They're not even stand-up proof, and if you have thigh or glute tattoos you are going to see them, but it's double lined where the underwear, basically where your foof is going to go and where your ass crack is going to be at the back, because you've got that thong detail. That's all double lined, but the thigh part, the glute, the booty part, that's single line. Black is completely solid, no issues whatsoever. Even with a Lemsip test, like, it fully passes. Like, the black is honestly really, really, really solid. This is also completely fine. You can barely see the Lemsip packet even in a squat. Completely fine, no issues whatsoever. And the same with Verbena. Out of all the colours, this is probably Verbena. I don't know how I meant to be saying that colour. This is definitely the most squat proof in terms of colours. It's completely fine standing up and it's completely fine squatting as well. Like, it's a really solid colour. The Tenacity fabric in general is a lot better in terms of squat test than Amplify, for example. It's thicker, it's not quite as thin, so you're not gonna have as many problems. Like, I have no doubt if this was in an Amplify colour, it would be horrific. Like, we saw how bad Citrus Frost was. Like, this is bad in Tenacity. If this was in Seamless, it would be worse than Citrus Frost. Like, it would be like Citrus Frost on crack, basically. But yeah, those are all the squat tests, so just be aware if you've got thigh and glute tattoos, heat and solar, you're gonna run into issues being able to see them on the thigh. Every single colourway on the bodysuit and the shorts, it's double lined through the foof and the crack area, so you are all covered for your modesty. It's also double lined through the gusset, so you're covered there. But if you've got glute and thigh tattoos, heat and solar will cause you problems. The rest of the colours, you're going to be completely fine. Okay, now we're going to get into the review of the pieces themselves. This, like I said at the start of this video, has been such a controversial drop. Like, Such a controversial drop. By the way, I'm so sorry about the lighting because it keeps changing. It's so gloomy outside, but I need to film this video today because it's Wednesday and the drop is on Saturday, like I'm running out of time. Just to run over the fabric of Tenacity really quickly, it's 75 nylon, 25 spandex. It is essentially, if you've got Aura, it's the most similar to Aura. It's just slightly more silky feeling. It's still brushed, so it's still pill prone. It does pill, it does show sweat, it does dry quite quickly, but it does show sweat, it does pill, because it does have that brushed sort of layering on it. So it will pill when you're rubbing up against the floor, when you're rubbing up against turf, it will pill. It is still a delicate fabric. It's definitely more performance leaning than Aura is. It's got more compression than Aura. I would say this fits much more true to size than Aura. With Aura, I can size down. With this, I definitely wouldn't recommend sizing down, especially in the bottoms, which I will get into. More similar hand feel wise to Aura. It's just silkier. It's more cold to touch, whereas I find Aura fuzzier and warmer. This is still brushed, it still has that brushed effect, but it's just slightly silkier, colder to touch, and a little bit more performance feeling. This is not a performance fabric by any means, but it's definitely a step towards performance from Aura, if that makes sense. It's not like an Honor Active Unified. In summary, 75 nylon, 25 spandex. It will pill, it will show sweat, but it does dry quite quickly. It has a smooth, silky, cold to touch feel, and to be honest, everyone that has felt this fabric has really liked it that I've spoken to. Some of the girls that came to summer shredding were able to feel it in store, and it's one of those fabrics where once you get your hands on it, it's kind of addictive. Like, it's really nice. It does catch lint like crazy, so especially with this colour in particular, it starts to look dirty very quickly, so do be aware of that. And like I said, it's more compressive than Aura. But if you want a full in-depth on the fabric, link down below with a timestamp. I compared it to all the other brands. Alternatively, you have got my PDF link down below for this launch with a mini review of every single item, what I think of each item, and also at the start a breakdown of the Tenacity fabric, comparisons to other brands, comparisons to other alphalete cut and sew fabrics. So you've got it all covered. This is just very brief because we've got a lot of other things to talk about in this video instead. I hope that's okay. In terms of washing instructions, you need to wash this with other similar fabrics. I washed my black pieces with like denim jeans, and oh my fucking god, I can tell a difference. Like, I can 100% tell a difference. With the last drop, some of my pieces came in feeling more slick, some more brushed. On this drop, they all feel the same amount of silky, brushed, like it's all feeling very similar to each other. There's no colour that stands out. However, I put my black pieces in the washing machine with some denim jeans, whereas with the heat colour, I put the bikers in the washing machine just with like some seamless tops and some other soft fabrics. My heat stuff came out feeling very similar, slightly less silky, but very similar. Black stuff has come out of the washing machine because I washed it with rougher fabrics. Honestly feeling like a heavily worn pair of Alpha Lux. It's nowhere near as silky anymore. Like, I've completely taken the finishing off it. It doesn't feel as nice. So please wash with similar fabrics if you want to maintain that silkiness, and do not tumble dry it. You have to hang this dry. But yeah, that's just an update on the fabric. Okay, let's get into the drop itself. I'm going to go over the Parker shorts first. I'm going to run over the details on these, and then once I've gone over the details and I've shown you how these are looking, we will talk about my opinions on it and my feelings on it. You guys can let me know what you think as well. It's definitely the most controversial design I've ever seen them do. I've never seen such a strong visceral reaction. I don't think I've seen anyone say it's okay. People either really like it, and that's not many people, or they absolutely hate it. Like, I did a poll on Instagram and the vast majority said that they hated it. Like, there was 2% of people that said that they loved it. So details wise on these, you have got the branding is on the top left, Raised River logo, the wolf logo, which is like the staple for the Tenacity range. So I like that they're keeping this consistent, and every single piece this time is tonal, so white on white, black on black, which I really like. I will give them brownie points for that. You don't have a seam at the top here. There is no seam at the front of the waistband, which I know some people were concerned about. There is only a seam around the back portion of the waistband, which I do actually find this helps to stop it gaping at the back of my waist when I do a squat, which I do appreciate. But that only runs to about halfway around the waist, where you've then got this seam and this seam is where the back seam ends, so it sort of like connects and runs down here, which on body sits about like halfway around the waist. On me, obviously it will depend how you are built, but there isn't a seam in the top at the front, it's only at the back, which I don't think I actually have a short that does that, which I find quite interesting. This whole portion here, so the whole bit at the front, the underwear portion, and the whole bit at the back, the underwear portion, is fully double lined, like fully double lined. There are 2 pieces of fabric here and it's thick in that area. So if you're someone who likes to go commando, a winner, because honestly I wouldn't really recommend wearing underwear with this. It gets quite uncomfortable, like, not to be TMI, but especially if you've already got a little bit of something going on down there, really don't need an extra piece of fabric. It's actually, I find this more comfortable wearing it without underwear, and I usually will never not wear underwear. Having said that, I'm not entirely sure, because I'm very fussy about underwear now. I pretty much try to keep cotton only down there. I'm not sure how I feel about having this brushing up against me. I'm not sure how good nylon spandex is for down there, if you know what I mean. So just something to be aware of. Gusset is also double layered, so this portion is double layered as well, and the gusset is an extended gusset. So a lot of people were asking me, does the underwear like sort of wedge you and run right the way through? Like, that looks like it's going to be really uncomfortable. No, the bit that goes right under you is a gusset. It's an extended gusset like it is on Aura, so the underwear doesn't run right the way through. And the seams are honestly quite thick, quite bulky, I'm not gonna lie. These seams are quite thick, they're quite prominent. They are thicker than, for example, the seam that runs around the front of the hip, which I will show you now. So this one sort of curves around here, which honestly, front on, I do find that this does wonders for like the hip shape. I do think it's really flattering. And then from the side, it does sort of curve like Aura does, but it curves much earlier. It does look a little bit strange from the side. I wish it curved back more. It just doesn't look quite right from the side, but then I don't think you'd get the same effect from the front if it didn't run like that. So I kind of understand why it's like that, but yeah, I think I prefer ultimately how the Aura line runs from the side, but from the front I do like how this hip seam runs. It's really flattering. And then in terms of the seam on the leg, it's the exact same as Aura in terms of how that seam looks. It's not super bulky, it's not super tight, it's not super thick. And in terms of the leg opening, if anyone has the Aura bikers, it's pretty similar, although Aura are 9-inch, so those actually sit a little bit lower on the quad. These ones are a 7-inch inseam, so the inseams are slightly different. And then, like I mentioned when I went over squat proofness, this portion of the leg, single lined. Let's just debrief on this design. This is going to come down to your personal preference. If I really don't want to yuck your yum, if you really like it, you pop off. Like, I wouldn't judge someone that's wearing this. I'm not going to be like mean about it. I'm not going to be a mean girl and be like, you look like a fucking freak in those shorts. I'm not going to be mean about it. Like, Sid put these on. I'm not going to cap. Like, she looked cute as fuck in them, like, and she really liked them, which I think helped, because I feel like when you wear an outfit with more confidence, it just makes things look better. But I'm going to be completely honest, I cannot fucking stand how this looks on me. I cannot stand how this underwear line looks on me. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. This is such a specific design, if you know what I'm saying. And not all of us are built the same. Do you catch my drift? And I am a lady that is not built for these shorts. I asked for ways on Instagram to say this politely. People were like, the under-seat storage will not be suitable for all luggage. Like, that one really made me laugh. Sometimes something is too big for the panini press. Like, people were coming up with all sorts of shit, but ultimately, like, the blunt way of saying it is my fanny doesn't fit in these shorts at the front. It doesn't. I'm hanging out of the side respectfully, and therefore I cannot wear these. Like, I've worn the black ones and you can definitely get away with it more in the black. I don't think the lines are quite as obvious in the black. And I did wear these like walking around running errands, but if someone wanted to stare at my cooch, they're gonna see, oh, she's having a crisis down there. But it does not, it's not doing me any favors. Let's just say that. I find it also incredibly uncomfortable. When I first put these on, they feel okay. After a little bit of time wearing them, like, I was walking around in the black ones in Texas, like, to go and run errands and stuff, and I would say after the half an hour mark, I start to feel like I'm being sliced down there. It's really uncomfortable because of how thick those seams are and the fact that I just don't fit in it. It's really uncomfortable. Now, will it be uncomfortable for everyone? No, but there really isn't a way of me deciding whether it's going to be uncomfortable for you or not without things getting very strange. And look, I'm here to help the girlies with whatever they need. I'm gonna have to draw the line at analysing your female anatomy. Sorry. The line has to be drawn somewhere. We've done a lot on this channel. I've measured myself foof to belly button to help people out with rise. I'm not above doing some strange shit. I will not be analysing your fanny to check if it's going to fit in these shorts or not. If you like the design, it's just going to be something that you're going to have to try. But, and I don't have that, I don't think I've got the biggest fanny in the world, but does she fit in here? Absolutely fucking not. So brilliant. A new insecurity. The back, however, I will say the back makes my arse look great. I cannot take it away from the shorts. These make my bum look better than standard Amplify. Like, I think it's a mixture of things though, and I don't actually think it's the thong detail. I firmly believe if we just had this in a plain version with a deep V seam, still in bikers, this fabric, because the fabric helps a lot as well. It's more compressive than Aura. Aura bikers are flattering, but these are another level because it's higher compression throughout the leg. So it really lifts your glutes. Like you will see in the try-on clips, like you can really see the shape of my glutes, which I don't really always get in Amplify, in the standard ones anyway. So it really helps to like lift, and you can see like the shape of my glutes, which I really like. And because of the thong detail, it does help to not give uni butt. Like that does go up the crack a little bit, but again, those seams are quite thick, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Just thinking from a consumer point of view, if I didn't get sent these for free, I wouldn't be buying them, no matter how good my ass looks, because I know if these dropped at the same time as, like I've just explained, a normal plain design deep V version of this biker short, I wouldn't even look twice at these. And I know that this is gonna be, for my style and like my preference, I like things that are timeless. I know that this isn't timeless for me. Like I tried to wear these to the gym today and I just couldn't do it. Like my mum laughed at me. Like I went downstairs and my mum literally laughed at me. Some may say she was being mean. I would just say it's quite funny. But I've worn some weird shit in my time. My mum's seen my nipples. She's seen Bike Race to the Wind. We've done it all. I've done everything. Okay, she's seen it all. She's never laughed at an outfit before other than something that I wore on holiday, which was completely see-through. Like you could see everything. The fact that that and this is the only thing that elicits a laugh from my mum at my outfits, I feel like it speaks volumes. I'm just not comfortable drawing this much attention towards my crotch, especially when my crotch doesn't fit in it. I literally feel like the biggest, funniest girl in the world. Yes, these are insanely flattering on my glutes. I'm not gonna cap to you guys. I'm not gonna lie just because I don't like it. I'm not gonna completely roast it because look, the redeeming quality is it makes my ass look sickening. Like my ass looks thick in these. Like it looks good, okay? My ass looks better in these than it does in normal Amplify. However, knowing that these are coming in a normal version at some point, hopefully we're gonna get like a deep V seam or like something really flattering on the glutes, and hopefully in a biker, I would choose those any day of the week over these. And these are just, I don't feel comfortable wearing these. I will be honest, I will wear the black ones for errands for short periods of time where I've got like a top or something over it so you can't see it as much, but I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around in a sports bra in these shorts. Like I would need something cover up the vast majority of the lines on the front because it just makes me feel so uncomfortable. That's my opinion on the design. I don't like it. I think these would have been, these honestly, if these were plain, these could have been like the new Wonder Short. Like in terms of glute flatteriness, it really reminds me of the Wonder Short. Like it could have rivaled that. Honestly, if these were plain, I feel like people are starting to move away from seamless anyway. People are crying out for stuff like this in a plain option. It would have done so fucking well, but again, you then put the lines on it and something that could have been mass appealing is now niche, and I don't cover that niche. It's not me. It's not my preference. Also, it's really fucking obvious. If I was to sit here and be like, oh, I actually really like it. Yeah, I like how it makes my glutes look, but I don't like it full stop. You guys are gonna watch my Instagram stories the next few months. You're gonna watch my vlogs and you're gonna see, hang on a minute, those shorts that you said that you actually liked, you never wear. like you guys are gonna see. And being completely honest, I'm glad I've waited a bit of time to do this video, because when I saw the pictures of these, my reaction was so strong that when I put them on, I didn't hate them as much as I thought I would. But then the more I've worn them, the more I've realised, actually, these aren't a bit of me. If I'd have filmed this review 2 days ago, I feel like my opinion may have been less harsh. So maybe I should have filmed it 2 days ago. I don't fucking know. But this is a much more like marinated opinion. And I know logically this isn't me. This isn't, I feel really uncomfortable from the front. Most people are going to be looking at me front on, not from the back. And even with the back, it's flattering on the glutes, but I still feel like the thong line does look a little bit funky and it's really uncomfortable, which is the main thing. It's just so uncomfortable on me. However, there will be some people that are interested in these, so I'm going to run you over some of like the finer details in terms of fit, compression, rise, all that good stuff. So the rise on these is actually really similar in terms of like measurements and stuff. And I will pop in the measurements here so that you guys can see how these fit in like a size small and a medium, because I got both. So I will show you like what the measurements are, and again, link down below for the document that's got everything in like full-blown pictures. But the rise on these measured is very similar to the Aura Bikers. However, I will pop in a side-by-side here. As you're gonna see, these sit much lower. I think it's probably because of the underwear detailing, and like the fabric is a lot more compressive, which means I can't really pull it up as much. And I just feel like, in a really weird way, my fanny is pulling these shorts down. I can't pull them up, and if I do try and pull them up, they don't really stay up. Like, they're just meant to be more of a mid to high rise on me. Now keep in mind my belly button sits a little bit higher, but I've been watching other athlete stories and most people's belly buttons are out. My belly button is out in these, and yeah, so even though the rise measures similar to an Aura Biker, don't be fooled. These are, I would say, a mid to high rise. If you're super short in the torso, these are still going to be high rise on you, so keep that in mind. But on me, if you're similar to me, these are going to be mid to high rise at a push, more of a mid rise. My belly button is out in these. These also have a 7-inch inseam as opposed to Aura, which has a 9-inch inseam, which could also be playing a role in terms of like how these sit and the rise. These are definitely more compressive through the leg than Aura is, and they definitely fit more true to size than Aura, whereas with Aura, I feel like you could definitely, it was true to size, but you could definitely size down, and I'm wearing an extra small in that try-on clip, just so that you guys know, you definitely could size down, if that makes sense. Whereas with these, I definitely would not be sizing down. In terms of the compression in these, so you've got the double layered fabric in the underwear section at the front and at the back. However, being completely honest, I don't feel that that adds any extra holding in for me. I feel just as held in my legs as I do in those sections. So for me, I don't doubt that if the leg was double layered, I would notice it there. But I think just because there's no sort of seam at the front, I don't notice that it's adding any extra compression for me. I would say compression wise in the waist, it's definitely more compressive than Aura, but nowhere near as compressive as Amplify. Like if Aura is here and Amplify is here, these Tenacity bottoms definitely sit in the middle. I just feel that because of the way the waistband is sort of designed and the fact that it's very like seam free at the front, it doesn't have tons of compression. I would say it's like very much like a low to medium on the compression scale. Aura being low, Amplify being high, but through the leg, these are compressive. Like these are a lot more compressive than Aura, and I honestly find that in the leg as well, these feel tighter than Amplify. Like, and I like it in a good way. I like something to feel tight on my legs because it's more flattering. It gives the glutes more of a push. I feel like it shows off your shape more when something fits a bit tighter, so I'm not mad at that. I would say through the leg, these feel more compressive than Amplify for me. So yeah, if you really like how ultra high compression Amplify is in the waist, you're not gonna like these. Like, and you will never replicate the level of compression that you can get in seamless with a tiered waistband. You can't replicate that in cut and sew. Like, it's just two very different things. You're not gonna get the same level of compression. However, if you like something that's more like low to medium in the waist and you're not too bothered, the compression on this might be fine. I know that people who carry extra weight in like their lower stomach were concerned about this design on them not being maybe the most flattering and not compressing them enough. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be flattering because everyone's beautiful, you can wear whatever the fuck you want, but this is not going to hold you in much, especially at the top. I really find it doesn't hold me in much at the top. You do have that seam running along the back, however, which I do find when I squat helps it to not gape, so that's good. But yeah, the compression definitely slap bang between Aura and Amplify, but definitely tighter in the leg than Amplify, in a good way. Like, it really I'm looking perky in these, okay? Like, it really lifts things up. Touching on compression, the leg opening, I got these in a small and a medium, and I'll move on to sizing next, but neither are too tight. Like, the leg opening has stretch in it, it's not completely stiff, but I would say I feel like these do feel tighter on that leg opening than Amplify does, which is strange because they measure quite similarly, but I do find that these just feel like they're a little bit tighter on my quad on the leg opening, so keep that in mind. In terms of rolling though, these do not roll. Like, these stay put. You can roll them up, and I'll show you guys how they look like unrolled compared to rolled, but these stay put. Like, these do not move. They don't move, and especially because this fabric has more like grip to it than Aura, it doesn't like move around quite as much. It really sort of sticks to your legs. It stays put a lot better than Aura did. So yeah, these don't roll. I do find that if you roll them yourself, they can then roll up further depending on where you've rolled them to sit on your thigh, if that makes sense, because the reason why bikers don't tend to roll as much is because they hit at a point on your quad where it's less likely, like the fat positioning on your leg as a woman basically is less likely to cause it to roll. So if you do roll it to that sort of point on your thigh, which then with movement causes it to roll, it will roll further, but they don't roll like nowhere near as bad as like the Amplify shorts, for example. So in terms of sizing for these, I picked up a small and a medium. I would definitely say these fit a lot more true to size than Aura does. With Aura, I prefer an extra small. With these, I don't think I could do an extra small. An extra small would be way too tight on my thighs in these. I think it'd be fine around the waist. Honestly, I don't find these uncomfortable. It's so much more comfortable than Amplify. But yeah, through the leg portion, I absolutely could not do an extra small. That would be digging in and just be way too tight, and it'd be really tight on the coochie as well, which would not be fun because it's already pretty tight. It's already doing a little bit of damage down there, if you know what I mean. Honestly, I'll pop the measurements on the screen again so that you guys can see the difference between a small and a medium, and obviously I'll do like the whole side by side thing of a small and a medium as well. But being completely honest, I don't notice a huge difference between the small and the medium. The only difference I really notice is I feel like with the size small it lifts my glutes more, and therefore I do prefer my true to size. But also in a size up, it's not like hanging off me, it's not falling down. The waist and stuff, I don't notice a huge difference between a small and a medium. There isn't really much in it, and on body I don't really feel a difference. Maybe slightly less compression in a medium, but they definitely don't feel too different. The main difference for me is in the leg. Again, both fit fine. I don't really have excess fabric in either unless I roll it up. The main difference for me is in my true size, I get much more of a glute push, I feel. I just feel like the glute effect is much better in my true size, and therefore sizing wise for these, I would say they fit pretty true to size. Like I mentioned before, for Aura, I had to go down to an extra small. In Amplify, now I'm pretty much standardly a size small, but in some drops when it's super tight, like some contour colours, some of colours like Digital Violet and stuff, I need like a medium. In these, I am totally fine in a size small. The medium fits, so if for whatever reason, which I don't think would happen, your true size sells out, you can take a size up. There's not a huge difference. Like for example with Amplify now, I can't do medium. It looks absolutely humongous on me. But with these, I don't notice a huge difference. And if you are interested, but you're maybe a little bit more heavily packed down there, or you've got really thick thighs, and you want to try this but you're worried about it being uncomfortable, sizing up could actually help with that. And I would say with this range, you can size up if you want to, but generally I would stick true to size. I wouldn't size down in these. They definitely feel tighter in the leg and around the crotch area than other pieces from alphalete. I would honestly say to stay true to size. I prefer my true size, and if you are between sizes, and you can always go either way, I would say if you really like things to be tight on your leg, like super tight, and you don't mind if things dig in, you can go with that size down. If you prefer more of a comfortable fit, you're concerned about the leg opening, you're concerned about the coochie fit, I would say to go with your size up. But generally, everyone else, stay true to size 100%. In terms of like these sort of rolling down, sliding down, I do find that these do slide down a little bit on the waist, again, just because there's nothing to sort of keep it in place. I feel like it's sort of a double-edged sword, because I like the fact that it doesn't have an elastic band around the top, but I also feel like a mixture of that and the fact that it's very sort of, there's no like lower waistband seam, it goes like that instead. I feel like it causes it to pull down a little bit more at the front. I do find myself having to pull it up quite a bit, but it's not as bad as like the Surface crossover leggings. Those I had to readjust a lot more. It's not as bad as that, but they do definitely slide down on my waist. Sweatproof wise, these are not sweatproof. They are going to show sweat. It does dry quite quickly, but this does show sweat. So do be aware of that. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, just letting you know. Camel toe wise, a lot of people were saying that the double lining like completely prevents camel toe, but I think it depends how you're built, because for me it definitely doesn't. Like, I'm not getting like things are getting very weird. I'm not getting like you know, a precise point in the middle, shall we say, but I am getting things going more like this way, you know, like at the parting of the Red Sea, if you will, which looks a little bit strange. So for me, I would class that as a camel toe. Like, I'm literally hanging out of the sides of the thong. So for me personally, I do get a camel toe in this, and these are very uncomfortable on my cooch, like very uncomfortable. So yeah, you do get a camel toe in these. Overall, these shorts, there's nothing wrong quality wise, and I really do want to highlight that, because something I will always really roast to fucking death is a bad quality product. The quality on these feels nice, the fabric incredible. I cannot wait for normal Tenacity bottoms so that we can all experience the glute lift together in a way that doesn't, you know, victimize our female anatomy and make us feel like we've got massive fannies, or just like strangle us from the cooch, you know, that might be quite nice. I can't wait for normal Tenacity bottoms. I honestly think when we get normal Tenacity bottoms, it's going to be game changing. It's going to be probably one of my new go-to pieces, especially, please can we have them in a biker? Like, we won't get the same effect if it's not in a biker, so please let's get the bikers in a deep V-seam. Please, plain on the front. Love everything, like love the branding, love how these fit. I actually don't mind the rise, which surprised me, because usually I hate if my belly button is out, but I actually don't mind it. There's something about this that I just feel like makes my body look more curvy front on, so I don't mind. Not in that way, weirdos. Don't be thinking about I mean this way, okay? I feel like it might be those seams, but ultimately this is not for me. Like, if this is your cup of tea, pop off, pop your puss, if you will, and you will be in these. It's just not for me. It's not my thing. It's very uncomfortable on me. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my anatomy. It's just very uncomfortable in a lot of ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. It's causing me discomfort. I cannot do these. As much as I love how amazing these make my ass look, I think my ass looks phenomenal, if I may say so myself. I cannot do these. I don't like them. You won't see me using them, other than maybe the black for errands. That's about it. I wish we'd done them just completely plain. Like, I know that this was meant to be the fun drop of the Tenacity bottoms anyway, but speaking completely honestly, I think we could have just gone without, because this is going to be really female anatomy dependent, and also from what I've seen, most people are not liking this. They're not liking it. They're not comfortable with it, and I just feel like, did we need to do this? Because even the people that are going to love this would have also probably loved a plain one. Do you know what I mean? So for me personally, if you want to do it, pop off, but this is not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. It's probably my least favourite bottom design in terms of the alphalete I've ever done. I don't like it. You're not going to see me wearing it. We're going to move on, okay? Okay, I've popped a light on. The lighting has just changed, but it's getting so grey outside, so we're working with it. But please rest be assured, the lighting in like my try on clips is all done in a morning. So it's broad daylight. We've got that natural lighting. I'm just not blessed enough. It's literally, what time is it? Oh, to be fair, it is 6:15. I thought it was like 5 PM. I think I've been yapping for a bit too long. Moving on, this is the Curl bodysuit. This is Alphalete's first ever one piece, and when I started seeing some sneak peeks of people shooting behind the scenes for this launch, just to give you a bit of background context, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, the shorts, no fucking way, I'm gonna hate them. I was like, the bodysuit, maybe I can get on board with the bodysuit. It looked really good on Amanda. I thought, yeah, I can get on board with the bodysuit. The bodysuit is probably my least favourite thing in this launch. It does not work for me in any capacity. It doesn't do anything for me, but maybe it will do something for someone else. So let's go over the details, shall we? It's the same bottoms. The only differences are you do have a waist seam on the bodysuit, basically just to join the top to the bottoms. So there is actually a waist seam on the bodysuit. Obviously there isn't on the shorts, and again it's quite like a thick seam. You've got the double lining in the front underwear, double lining in the back underwear, single line through the leg, double lined gusset, 4-inch inseam on the bodysuit, so it's not a biker length, it's much shorter, and it is actually quite short. It really does sit just under the arse cheeks, especially because I'm a little bit taller. I feel like I'm pulling on the fabric a bit more. You then also have the Wolf logo, again, tonal. I really love this branding, I'm not gonna lie. I do think it's really nice. I love the branding on the Tenacity pieces. And then it's basically a top joined on. So it's a super high neck, like very high neck, sort of very highly cut. You're going to see it in the try-on clips. Got 2 darts on the bust. Instead of being under bust, they run sort of diagonal across the bust like so. You do actually have like a built, it's not a built-in bra because it's just not, but if you bought the Tenacity bras, you will recognise this thick bottom band. You have that in here, and you also have padding. Alphalete are putting padding in all their sports bras again going forwards, and that includes the bodysuit for this drop, so it does come with padding. The padding is the same usual quite crap padding. It's not the best padding, and it's also really like small. I feel like it's not big enough for my boobs, so I always take the padding out because like it just looks obscene. Like for context, these nipple covers are bigger than my nipples. No one be alarmed. That is bigger than my nipple, but this is like a nipple cover compared to the padding. Like the padding is really small. I don't like Alphalete's padding. I always take it out. I don't like padding anyway, but it does come with padding. And then it basically nips around the armpits, and then you have a big oval cut out at the back, and it sort of comes up to like a little triangle. Yeah, there's no like adjustability on it or anything like that. Like I said, it's a 4-inch inseam. Something that is important to note is just really quickly on getting this on is really quite awkward. You basically step into the shorts through the back, and then you basically have to pull this bit over your head, which if you're taller is actually quite difficult to do. Getting it on isn't the worst thing in the world, but getting this off like makes me, does anyone else panic when they can't get something off? Like I do, and it makes me sweat, and I can't imagine anything worse than having done like a workout in this and it get like really sticky and sweaty, and then trying to get this off. I think I would really struggle. It's very awkward to get on and off, I'm not gonna lie. It's worse getting off than it is on. It's very awkward to get off and on. It's not the easiest by any stretch of the imagination. Another thing to point out with this is the front bit on here, where it comes to like a head at the bottom of the like underwear line detail, is much skinnier than it is on the shorts. Let me grab a short so that I can show you. This is how thick the skinniest point on the front of the short is. This is the bodysuit. It's about half the width, and I'll pop in some like measurements of the bodysuit so that you can sort of see how it measures up compared to the shorts. I'll pop the shorts on this side and the bodysuit on this side so that you guys can see like rise wise, especially on the bottoms, how different it is, because this does have like a slightly shorter back rise, but like not to the point where like the top of your bum cracks out or anything like that, but the rises are slightly different. But this is a lot skinnier on the front. It's really uncomfortable. This bodysuit called my huge in 19 different languages. Like forget like different postcodes, different countries, parting the Red Sea, like there is no tomorrow. And because I'm taller as well, I don't think this is that long torso friendly. Again, the measurements and stuff will be linked below, but it's not that long torso friendly, so I'm having to pull it up even more. And then the fact that that bit's skinnier at the front on this than it is on the shorts, no, it's so uncomfortable on me, like so uncomfortable. I feel more self-conscious in the bodysuit than I do in the shorts, which I didn't see happening. I thought this would be the more wearable piece of this drop for me, but I really don't like it. I don't like it. It's really uncomfortable down below on me. If you're shorter, you won't have that issue, and if you've got a more tightly compact vagina, maybe you won't have that issue. But again, I'm just gonna show you again, just for the record. My vagina is this tightly compact. I would just like to know how it feels to have the most tightly compact puss in the world, quite frankly, because that is so skinny. Who is that skinny down there? Who is that skinny down there? Like, honestly, it's giving me like a complex. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Do I need to see a doctor about this? Because what is going on down there? The top part as well on this is double lined, and the top part actually makes it worse for me, because basically the way that I would describe this is, because I think this is more suitable if you're a little bit shorter, especially if you're shorter in the torso. I'm a little bit long in the torso, so I'm really stretching out the fabric in this. The way I would describe it is if you put a baby in a baby grow, like a 1 month old baby, a 1 year old in a 6 month old baby grow. Like, the baby's too tall for the baby grow, so like the fabric isn't gonna like go around the baby's, this is really, the really fucked up way of explaining it, but the fabric isn't gonna go around the baby's body quite as well, because you've put it in like a 6 month old baby grow and it needs like a 1 year old. And that is what this is giving on me. Like, it's giving a baby that's been put in a baby grow, and the baby is just a humongous baby, and I guess I'm just a giant baby when it comes to this, because the fabric is so stretched on the torso that I can't get this bit around the waist to be tight to my waist. And even though it's like, it's double lined, like it's thick, it's not compressing me, because it's not figure hugging on me, because I'm just stretching it out too much, and I could not do an extra small. Okay, the small is strangling me. Puss strangler. It's strangling me. I could not do an extra small in this. I would not recommend that you size down in this. I'll go on to sizing in a second, but please do not size down in this bodysuit. I do like it from the back, but honestly, because it's a shorter inseam, it's not as flattering on the glutes. I just don't find it as flattering on the glutes. This bit is really flattering. I like this cutout. It's giving spine. I sound like a brain rot person right now, but it's giving spine, okay? It just is. This bit is really flattering, but I find the front of this really unflattering on me, and I wasn't expecting that at all. It makes me look really boxy front on, which I'm not, so that's weird, because it's not moulding to my waist properly. It makes my chest look huge, which I've got yids, but like, I'm not, you know, I'm not Kim Kardashian. They're not huge, like they're not. It makes my boobs look too big for my frame, which they're not. I feel like they're quite proportional. And it's just so like blocky on the front on me that it's really unflattering. It's too tight on my shoulders. Again, I don't know if that's because my shoulders are too big. I don't really have big shoulders. I do have quite big traps, so it could be that. Or I don't know if it's the fact that I'm taller, so it could be that, and I'm just pulling on the fabric more and it's like pulling on my shoulders, but it's way too tight over the shoulders. Around the armpit, I find it really uncomfortable as well, like it just sort of digs in. And then around the back sort of here, like around the waist where I feel like it's not fitting me properly, I'm getting like gaping and like gapping on it where it's not sitting tight to my body. I'm not a huge fan of this. I thought this would be my like saving grace piece from the launch. Like, I literally said this to people last week. I was banking on this being the thing that I could be like, I love it, but I don't. Like, I don't love it. I don't like it. Sizing wise, I got it in a small and a medium because I knew from having the small in Houston, I think I might need a medium to make it more comfortable up here. It makes it slightly more comfortable, but it's still incredibly awkward to get on. Then it just feels like it's really boxy from the front, because then it's not tight enough at all, and I'm still stretching out the fabric. You do get a little bit of extra length when you go up a size, but it's not that much. Again, I'll pop the small and medium measurements here so that you guys can see, but you don't get that much more length. I think it's about an inch, and it doesn't really make a difference. I find it still isn't sitting to my waist properly. It looks too blocky from the front on me. It's weird because I've seen a lot of people with smaller chests saying they feel like this is more suited to bigger chests, but I just feel the opposite. Or maybe it's perfect for like a medium-sized chest where like you can fill it out a little bit, but you don't have things looking too blocky. Like, I just don't like the way that this makes my body look from the front. From like the side, maybe from like the back, it's okay, but I would choose other one pieces over this. Yeah, and I'm sad about it because I honestly, like, if you'd have asked me when I saw the PDF which piece is going to work best for me, I would have said this. and it just doesn't. I don't find it as flattering on the glutes. With it being that shorter inseam, I do find that this one rolls up quite short. Just from shooting in the black one, I had to consistently keep pulling the shorts back down. It's quite tight, like I've already mentioned about the fabric. It's a bit more compressive, so it's not like Aura where it's going to slide up over my glutes in that short inseam and like they're going to be out. It's got enough coverage and compression to not do that, but it's just not as flattering, and it does roll more because it is that shorter inseam. I think this would have been better with less coverage in the front and a biker and just being plain on the front and back, because the front on this is incredibly uncomfortable. But yeah, I don't really find a huge difference between doing a small and a medium in this. Like, I just don't find a huge difference. It doesn't fix the issues that I have in terms of length. It doesn't fix the issues that I have in terms of comfort on the shoulders. It doesn't fix the issues of how it like fits and looks from the front. If anything, it looks a little bit worse in a medium. And personally, it's just not my cup of tea. Again, massively, this piece in particular is going to come down to how you are built. Height, you know, if you're shorter, it might work better for you. Preference, if the lines are for you, the lines are for you, you will probably love it. But there is a reason, in my opinion, why you are seeing most people posting this bodysuit from the back or twisted to the side slightly. I think it's because it's very unflattering on most people's pelvic area. I've not seen it doing much for anyone front on, and it's almost like too much of a contrast because it's so open at the back for it to be so high up at the front. It just looks really strange on me, and I'm not a huge fan of it. In terms of camel toe, it's absolutely chronic in this, like the worst camel toe I've ever had from an alphalete product before. Really uncomfortable. Sweatproof, no, it's the Tenacity fabric, so it's not sweatproof, it will show sweat. Pilling, obviously, yes, again, it's the Tenacity fabric, it can pill over time. But if anyone would like the Blaze small bodysuit or the, what's it called? Verbena medium bodysuit, please just let me know in the comments below, and I will pick people to send these to, because I'm not going to use them, and it just feels very wasteful to have this sitting in my house when I'm just not going to use them. So yeah, to round up on the bodysuit, like I said, it's going to massively depend on your preferences. Do you like the lines? Do you not like the lines? I personally feel this is suited more to short people. I personally feel this is suited more to people who have a bit of like a wider frame through the midsection. I think they will fill it out a bit better, and it might fit them a little bit better. But if you're a bit more like nipped in at the waist, it's going to be very hard for this to do that and really flatter you, if that makes sense. Sizing wise, I would say to stay true to size, and if you are between sizes in this piece, I would go up. Just with it being quite short and quite awkward to get on, personally I would recommend you go up a size. Something else to note is when you put this piece on, you will hear the stitches, I don't want to say ripping because there's no sign of like damage to the piece or like things coming undone, but you can hear things popping when this goes on because you do have to really stretch it to get it on. So just something to be aware of when you do get this piece if you are going to get it. But yeah, I mean, with it being like a low back, there's no issues with squatting, like it doesn't come down too low or anything like that. I just find this, the fit isn't quite right for me. The lines are even worse than the shorts. Like, it's really uncomfortable, like physically uncomfortable, and also I'm just not comfortable wearing that out. I just feel like it's not very flattering on my glutes either, with it being that shorter inseam. Like, it doesn't really, I don't get the effect that I get in the bikers in this, and it's probably my least favourite thing from the drop. Okay, I'm going to move on to the Tenacity top. I was going to start with the Sculpt top, but I feel like whilst we're on a roll of things that haven't quite worked out for me in this drop, I feel like we may as well do all that, and then we can go on like an upwards peak whilst I talk about the Sculpt bra and the seamless tanks, and then we can go on a bit of a downwards peak again when we talk about the mesh pieces. Like, I feel like that's just the best way to do it. So this is the Katie bra. Just to run you through the details very quick, this is a very deep V, like very deep V, and very wide as well. Like, this it's not quite as deep and wide as the seamless deep V bra, but it's very deep and wide. Obviously it has more coverage under bust than the seamless deep V bra, and it does sit a little bit longer body. Like, that's a very minimal bra. This one does sit a bit longer, but as you can see, it's very open in the middle. very much a deep V. It does come with padding, like I mentioned. If you skip to the bras, all the bras going forward are meant to have padding in again. They've started putting padding in. It's not the best padding. I've already gone over that, so you can skip back if you want to see me talk about that. But yeah, it does come with padding. It's also got the same details as the last drops Tenacity bras, with this sort of thicker band under bust. It's not right at the bottom of the bra. As you can see, you've got like an extra like 2 inches of fabric below that, but yeah, you've got a thick band that sits sort of like right under your bust, and then around the bottom it's like a hidden seam around the bottom, which isn't as tight as the under bust band, if that makes sense. Like, that's more compressive than the actual end itself. You've then got darts on the front as well, which are obviously quite long. I feel like all the Tenacity dart pieces are quite long. And on the back, you're keeping with the tonal branding raised rubber wolf logo. Comes into like a, I'm holding it upside down because I feel like it's easier to see, but it's basically like an open keyhole racer back. And I do actually really like the back of this bra, because Celeste bra I do actually prefer from the front, but I much prefer this one from the back, because I just find like a cross back bra much more flattering on the back than a straight across one. Like, if I'm given a choice, I will always go for something that's a bit more open, or just like crossing at the back in general. I find it a lot more flattering, and I will also pop in like the measurement differences. So as you can see, this one is not a lot longer, but it is longer, but it doesn't necessarily sit longer on the body. The straps are just a lot longer on this. Obviously the Celeste bra isn't like a halter neck. This one is sort of more of a halter neck. It doesn't come straight across, it sort of curves around the neck. This one's obviously got a very different back, more flattering in my opinion than the Celeste, because it's got that sort of like open crossover, which I feel like just accentuates the back. It makes your waist look smaller, it makes your back look less like linebackerish. This is much wider. Like, that's a boob job bra. This is a lot more chest on show. I thought that one was quite chesty. This one is a lot more chesty. The straps are obviously thinner, and the straps are a lot longer as well. Like, the Celeste bra, I almost debated going up to a medium because the straps felt quite tight. This one, the straps are definitely nowhere near as tight on this bra. They're a lot longer. It's very comfortable. Having said that, there's no discomfort on the traps, but the straps are a lot longer on this piece compared to the Celeste bra. It measures longer, but in terms of where it sits under bust, they're actually quite similar. I would actually say, if anything, this one has less under bust, but like the top portion is just so long, which makes it sit even lower on the chest. Support wise on this bra, I would say it's low to medium, and medium is like at a push, but especially if you've got natural boobs, it's definitely going to be more low. On me, because I've got implants, it's low to medium, but on most people this is going to be a low support bra. I feel like sometimes when people see more sort of coverage, or like not like a strip of material, they think automatically it must be a medium support. But because of how long the straps are on this, and they're not super tight, like they're not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite as held in as the Celeste bra does. I would definitely say this is less supportive, and obviously you've got a lot more chesticle on show. Tried this in a size small whilst I was in Houston. I've not been an extra small in an alphalete bra in a long time. The size small does not work on me in this bra. Like, it's not tight over bust, but I would say over bust it fits quite well, but the underneath, like the band that runs under my bust, is quite loose, and then the fabric, like, it's double layered and it's just not sitting tight on me at all. Like, the fabric looks really baggy under bust, and I feel like because it's so stretched over my bust and like it fits good there, it makes the bottom bit look even worse. Like, it just looks baggy on me and quite strange. The extra small is then way too tight over my bust, and honestly, like, the bottom band that runs under is actually a little bit too snug on the extra small. So for me, neither of these sizes works perfectly. This one's too loose under bust but fits well over bust. This one's too tight over bust and a little bit too tight under bust as well. Although I would say if I had to choose between the two for under bust, I would go with this, but it's very, especially with it already being like a very like wide cut deep V bra, I feel like in the extra small it's even more like, whoa. And I don't mind, like, I'm not a conservative lady, but this is really, especially because I just feel like I look like I'm wearing something that doesn't fit me, because it kind of doesn't. Like, I'm popping out of the top, like I'm getting like the quad boob. It never looks good if you're wearing something that doesn't fit you, like it just doesn't look good. Would say, however, because I've seen this on other people, if you've got a bigger chest and a wider rib cage, because I do know I am quite narrow under bust, I'm like 29.5 inches under bust. I am quite narrow under bust, so if you've got a fuller bust but you have a wider rib cage, I feel like you'll be able to get along with this bra a lot better, but it doesn't really work on me. Also, if you are someone who has quite a narrowly fit chest and you also have issues with straps being too long, I don't think this will work for you. Like, this is definitely the longest strap feeling bra I feel like I've had for alphalete in a while. Like, there's normally some level of tightness over my traps and shoulders. With this, there really isn't any, and I feel like the straps are long on this, and because it's cut so wide in the middle, if you're a narrow chest girl, I feel like it's just going to be too wide on you. I know from speaking to Michelle, who's like super small chested, this bra doesn't work for her because she can't fill it out, but then I feel like I think she mentioned it's too tight on her lats, so it doesn't work on her either, because obviously she needs sort of to size down for her chest, but then it's too tight on her lats. I honestly feel like the best candidate for this bra is going to be someone with a fuller bust and a wider rib cage, but if you have got a similar build to me, I wouldn't recommend this bra. The fit on this is probably the worst fitting bra I've had from alphalete in a while, just because I can't do either size. Like, I'm not offended. If I have to go up to a medium, I have to go up to a medium. If it fits, it fits. If I have to go down to an extra small and it fits, if it fits, it fits. I'm not bothered about having to size up or size down, but this doesn't work in either size, and it definitely wouldn't work in a medium. So for me, it's not my favourite bra in this launch. It's probably my least favourite bra they've done in a while. I love the design, I love the idea, but the sizing is just really wonky for me, and neither size works perfectly for me, so I just can't get this bra to work for me. So sizing wise, are fuller in the bust, wider in the rib cage, and you feel like this is a good candidate bra for you. The feedback that I've heard from other people who are built similarly is to stay true to size, especially if you've got that wider rib cage, because you'll be able to fill out the under bust a lot better. So if you are going to try it, I'd recommend it to those people, and I'd recommend you stay true to size. But for smaller chests, I've not seen great feedback, and if you're built similar to me with like a narrow under bust and a fuller bust, especially if you've got implants, I wouldn't recommend it personally. Okay, we can finally move on to something that works for me in this drop. Hallelujah. This is the Olivia Sculpt bra. So this is very similar to the Aura Sculpt bra, although in many ways also not, but it's called a Sculpt bra, so it's the same minimal sort of vibe. I'm going to show you it in the heat colour so that you can just marvel in the beauty of this colour. It just, it looks so good with a tan. But just to run you over the details, you've got two straps that just sort of come straight over the shoulders. It's not a halter neck or anything like that. You've got a really square neckline. You've got two darts under bust, so you've got one on one side, one on the other. Does come with padding. I personally take it out, but yeah, this bra does come with padding. The Aura one didn't. Super minimal, like not a ton of coverage in the front. I believe the center coverage is 4 inches, so it's more than Aura, but it's still like a very tiny bra. And then in terms of the back, you've again just got the tonal branding. I love the wolf raised rubber logo, and if you were curious on longevity on this, I've had no issues with them peeling or coming off in the wash. It's been completely fine. To compare this to the Aura Sculpt bra, this, in my opinion, is so superior. I was okay with the Aura Sculpt bra, but I'm going to be honest, since it launched last year, I barely reached for it. It was very impractical for me. I had to size up to a size medium, and even then, when I like move my arms, when I move around, it lifts up under bust, and like my scars were out from my surgery that I had on my chest. It just wasn't very flattering. I felt like it was really high up in my armpit. The straps felt really short. It just felt like the whole bra was really hiking on me, which makes sense. It was for an AB cup, but I have bras in a similar style from other brands that I can make work, so the fit just wasn't quite right for me. The new Olivia Sculpt bra has got longer straps. They're slightly thinner. It's more of a square neckline. You've got more coverage. This one comes with padding. The Aura one didn't. They both got darts. They're both, you know, straight over at the front, straight over at the back. The design is very similar. This one just has more coverage. It fits under bust a lot better. The seam at the bottom on this also just feels a lot better. Like there's no thick band on it, but I just feel like it sits a lot better. This one isn't quite as curved under bust. This one's got more of a square neckline. The Aura one is more of like a heart, like V in the middle. And also this one's not as wide cut in the chest either, which I just find this a lot more flattering on me. The square neckline looks a lot better. And then at the back, it's slightly wider, I think, at the back. And then the branding's obviously different. You've got the wolf tonal logo on the Olivia. The Aura one was just the alphalete logo, and I do prefer the wolf logo. I think it's a lot cuter. For me personally, this bra is so much better than the Aura Sculpt bra. It stays in place better. It's more flattering on me. It doesn't hike so much. When I move around, when I move my arms, I'm much more secure. It doesn't ride up. I trained legs in this when I was in Houston and I didn't have to adjust it once. The straps stay upright a lot better. I found with the Aura one, they were sort of sitting here, whereas with this one, they sit a lot more upright. They stay in place better. It feels, because I've got a bit more coverage, a little bit more supportive, it's still a low support bra. Having said that, I have implants. If you want an opinion from someone that's got a naturally big chest, I would highly recommend seeing what Sophia says. For me, my preference is my build, my bust. This is a much more improved version of the Aura Sculpt bra. Now, if you liked how sort of wide that was and how short it sat on body and it worked better for your build, you won't like this one as much. But if you had similar issues with the Aura Sculpt bra to me, I would say this is worth a try. For natural busts, I would say up to a D cup, I think you could actually probably get away with it. But anything bigger than that, and I would be a little bit concerned for you to try it. But again, see what Sophia says. She's the only girl on the team with like a naturally bigger bust. But for me, this works a lot better. This is my favourite piece from the launch. Now, having said that, favourite piece from the launch. Don't get it twisted. If you put this down next to an Aura strappy bra, you know, the one that like crosses over at the back and it's super open back, I'm choosing that bra every single time, because even though I find this more flattering and less linebacker-ish because it's got longer straps, it's not hiking as much at the back as the other one was, it's still not as flattering on the back as something that's going to go like this. So it's my favourite bra in the launch, it's my favourite piece in the launch, but it's not my favourite bra from alphalete. I would probably put it in my top 10. I'm not as in love with it as I am my Aura Strappy. Like, I don't doubt I will use this, but will I use it as much as my Aura Strappy bras? No, that's just me being completely honest, but I really, 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 really do like this. And I'm going to be, actually shocking, I know because it's so bright, the heat colour, I'm going to be wearing this a lot when I decide to reach for more like creamy tones for bottoms, or cotton candy, or pixel pink. That's what I'm going to be using this for, and I will be using this, trust me. Sizing wise on this, I would recommend that you stay true to size. So for the Aura bra, if you had to go up a size, go back to your normal size. I'll pop in a comparison here of a small and a medium with measurements so you can see the difference, and I will also pop in here a try on clip of me in a small and me in a medium. Neither of them budge, like they stay in place really well. I can go like this, there's no sort of issues when I'm working out, but the medium, because the straps are longer, I just get gaping here. Like, you'll be able to see where the strap is. It's gaping a bit, and it's not loose or anything. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to fall out of it. I can wear it, but it looks ill-fitted. I feel like I have extra fabric and it's not quite as tight as I would like it to be. So if you had to go up a size, and you never normally do for bras, to whatever size for the Aura Sculpt bra, but then it worked for you, I would recommend in this one that you stay true to size. If you are between sizes, I would recommend, if you're smaller in the chest, that you go down a size, and if you are bigger in the chest and between sizes, go up a size. But I would say in general, this runs a lot more true to size than the Aura one did. I had to size up in that one, I don't in this one. And if you are always one size, get that size. I would say it runs more true to size. I also find as well, with this being the Tenacity fabric, and it just seems to like grip a little bit better to your skin, especially when you've got sweat on it. It just seems to stick a little better. I feel like that helps it stay in place as well. I really like this. I would choose this over the Aura one any day of the week. I don't really have any notes on it. Obviously, it's still a super tiny bra. If you're very well endowed, it's not going to work for you. It's very low support, but I will be wearing this for like errands. I will be wearing this Probably more lower body days, I like to wear something crossback on an upper body day in particular. Like I like to make it as, I like to try and make my back look as like as possible on an upper body day. I don't find bras like this that flattering on an upper body day. Niche, I don't know, does anyone else feel the same? But yeah, this is definitely my top piece from this lawn. We've got seamless tanks, let's talk about it. So this seamless tank, I'm gonna be, let's just skip the bullshit. This is not gonna work for everyone, okay? It's actually probably not gonna work for 80% of people, and I will explain why, but first, I will run you through the details. So fabric wise, this is the exact same fabric blend as Amplify. So yeah, it's the exact same blend. I'll pop it on the screen, but it's the exact same blend. This, as you can tell, the straps are long, okay? It's very, very low in the front. It's very long strapped. It's very, very, very long strapped. You have then got a, you can't really tell off body, but you can once it's on. It's a very square neckline, like the Sculpt, but a lot wider. Like this is very, very, very wide on the bust. You then have, it's completely plain at the front. This is not as long as the Ozone tank or the seamless tank from Black Friday or the seamless tanks that Alphalete have done before. It's actually quite short in the body. I think it measures about 10 or 11 inches. I'm going to pop the measurements on the screen so that you guys can see the measurement. But yeah, it's quite short in the body. It's super plain on the front. There's no real like details or anything on it. The only detail, contour effect on the waist, and if I hold this up so that you guys can see off body, it's not like straight cut, like it does build some shape into it, but it's not really doing much. I'll get onto that. And then at the back, it's a super skinny racer back, and when I say super skinny, like this is like 1.6 inches wide, I think. You are going to struggle to find a standard racer back bra that fits under this perfectly. Like that's one of the main issues, amongst other things. It's very hard to find a bra that sits under this perfectly, so please be aware. I'm going to give you options, but it is very difficult. There's no padding in this, there's no bra built in. It's the typical seamless fabric. I don't have my rings on today, but punch through. It's a typical seamless fabric. I would say it's like it's like not super thin. It's definitely thicker than the Amplify seamless tanks they did last year, but it's thinner than the Ozone, for example, which was actually quite thick. That's probably one of my favorite tanks in terms of like that they've ever done. But yeah, the length on this is quite a bit shorter. It hits sort of high hip on me. It doesn't cover my whole hip bone. The only one that does is the black, which is 1.5 inches longer in the body, like in the actual body, it's not the straps, than the rest of them. Now I thought that might be because I've been wearing it more and I've been pulling it down more. So what I've tested out over the past few days is giving these like the same amount of wear time and trying to pull them down. It's not working. Like that, the black one is 1.5 inches longer. That could be a fluke, but I think it's worth mentioning. Some of these might come in longer, some of them might come in shorter, and I do actually prefer, the black one is my favourite. I feel like it fits the best. It's definitely the tightest, not to the point where you need to size up or anything like that, but it's just, it feels thickest, it feels tightest, again, which is very common for something black. The dye, it makes things fit a lot tighter. I would say the black and the green feel like the thickest and tightest. Yeah, the black is 1.5 inches longer as well, so that sort of hits me mid to low hip. Like it reaches that point on your ass. This is the thing about seamless tanks, jackets, zip ups, full length tops. It needs to hit just over the top of your bum to really give you that shelf appearance. If it doesn't, it's not going to do much for the glutes. It's not going to give you that sort of appearance from the side. Just a little tip, if you've been buying things that are super cropped and wondering why it's not giving you the same effect, just be aware of the fact you probably need it to be a little bit longer. You want it to cover like a tiny bit of the top of your bum to give that shelf illusion. In my opinion, I feel like that's the best way to get it. But do also keep in mind in the body length on this, I am longer in the torso. So if you're shorter, this might reach the bottom of your hip fine, but it is a lot shorter than the Amplify seamless tank and the Ozone tank, which I'll compare it to now. So I'm going to pop in like a side-by-side try on just so that you can see. This one, obviously, it comes in the lowest on the chest. It's definitely got the longest straps. It's got the thinnest straps. It's got the thinnest racer back. It's got a square neckline. The other two are round. It's much shorter in the body. and I would say this one sits in the middle in terms of compression. The Amplify seamless tank does nothing unless you've got Amplify on. This one offers a little bit of compression, like a tiny bit of compression. The panels down the side are not compressive. It's the same rib texture that is on the Amplify contour pieces, so it's slightly raised. It snatches a little bit, but it doesn't do much. And then you've got the Ozone tank, which is the thickest fabric. It definitely fits like the most snatching, and that one's also like round at the bottom as well, whereas this one is sort of straight cut. The Amplify one is straight cut as well, like the original Amplify one. So those are the differences. This is the shortest, the lowest, and it's got a square neckline. The other main difference is the other two work for anyone. This one doesn't. This one works for me, but it doesn't work for everyone. Now, first of all, just to clear this up, you cannot wear this without a bra. Like, even if you have boobs, you cannot wear this without a bra. It's way too low. I would be scared to wear this without a bra. I'll pop in a try and clip of how it looks without a bra. It's not even like the nipple situation that bothers me. It's just way too low in the front, and like the straps do need a little bit of readjusting sometimes. I wouldn't be comfortable wearing this with no bra. However, having said that, on me, I really love how this looks from the front with the Aura strappy bra, because it gives a sort of like peekaboo effect, which I just think is really flattering. I'm going to pop in some pictures and stuff so you guys can see. I have been wearing the fuck out of this tank. We were told in the meeting it doesn't work flat out on flat chests or smaller chests, and I've seen it on smaller chests in the meeting. It doesn't work. It's so low that it just, like, your boobs are completely out. It folds over in the corner. It doesn't work like at all. It's also going to depend how wide you are around here, because if you're super narrow, even if you've got a bigger bust but you're really narrow like up top, my implants come out a bit wider up top, so I'm okay. But if you don't have that, again, you're going to get because it's so wide cut, it's probably going to sit funky on you. And we were told it works better on bigger busts, but Sophia has said this tank doesn't work for her at all. Like, it doesn't work for her at all, and she's got a naturally big bust, so I'm inclined to believe you either need a very specific build and a big bust, because I know it works for Melissa and I know it works for Chelsea, who have, they're very well endowed. Let's just put it that way. They're very well endowed, but it works on them. Sophia is really well endowed, but it doesn't work on her. So it's definitely to do with a mix of your frame and your bust size. Implant girlies, it does work on mine anyway, but with a bra underneath. It does not work on its own. Another thing to note is when you put this tank on, if you pull it all the way down, it doesn't work on anyone. Like, if I put this on and just completely pull it down, you will see the bra is completely out. I have to put it on and then sort of pull the straps up and back over the back and then pull it down at the back. Some may say that's too faffy. For how this looks once it's on me, personally, it's not. But again, I didn't pay for these pieces. I got them for free, so keep that in mind. The straps are incredibly long, and you do have to readjust this throughout your workout. So because of where this hits on the hips, with movement, it completely pings up off the hips. That's not an alphalete problem. That happens with any tight-fitting seamless tank I've ever owned, or tight-fitting top in general that I've owned, that hits at that specific point on the hips. You'll know what I mean, especially if your hips stick out a little bit more and then your waist is more narrow. I feel like it's even more likely to ping up. So it does ping up with movement, and the straps as well. They're very long, they're not adjustable, and sometimes I do find myself having to like hike it back because it does move around in a workout. Not like constantly, I'm not constantly fiddling and readjusting to the point where I think I can't be fucking bothered. Now, I love how this looks from the front with the Aura strappy bra. Like, I absolutely am obsessed with how this looks from the front with the Aura strappy bra. I just think it looks so, I don't know, I really like the layering effect that it gives. I think it gives a peekaboo effect that I really like. However, at the back, obviously it's a racer back, so if you're going to do the Aura strappy bra, you can see the straps over at the back. The other bras that I tried were the alphalete tri-bra, which does work. I would say works one of the best. You can see the straps slightly, but I don't think it looks bad. Definitely works one of the best. The contour bra doesn't work at all. Like, you can fully see it and it looks really, really, really strange. Balance bra kind of works, but I personally feel like it looks a little bit weird from the back. The Gemini bra works well if you want to completely hide something. You can wear the Gemini bra under this. You'll see a little bit at the front, but nothing around the back. Like, it's very well hidden if you do the Gemini bra. And I did also try the Buff Bunny Revolution bra as well. Like how it looks from the front, but the Revolution bra sits a lot higher on the neck at the back, especially because I have to pull the seamless tank down at the back to make it not be so low at the front. It just looks weird from the back, so I actually wouldn't do the Buff Bunny tank with it. I'm going to wear this with my Aura strappy bra because I don't actually mind, because those straps are so thin, it doesn't bother me, and I love how it looks from the front. And the Tri bra and the Gemini bra, those are going to be my top 3 bras for pairing with this. In terms of sizing, I got a small and an extra small. I would say these fit true to size, or you can size down if you want it more of a snatched fit. My black is a size small and it's still like, it's body fit, it fits nice and tight. My green is a size small, body fit, fits nice and tight. I did an extra small in the purple. It doesn't help with the strap length, like it's slightly shorter, but they're still incredibly long. So sizing down doesn't fix like it not working for small chest. It's still incredibly wide cut. The straps are still incredibly long. I wouldn't recommend sizing down to fix that. I would recommend just skipping it completely if that's a concern for you. I can do either size. It's super stretchy, true to size, or you can size down if you want it to be more snatching, but keep in mind it's not going to be the same level as Ozo. To round up, personally, I really like this, but it's not perfect, and I know that they are working on improving this so that it works for more chest sizes in future, and so the straps aren't so long. So personally, for 90% of people, I'm gonna say wait, because an improved version will be coming. I got these for free, and as much as I love them and I'm going to be wearing the fuck out of them, I don't want to recommend something to you guys which I know for the vast majority of you is not going to be quite right. Brilliant that it works well for me and I like it, but I cannot recommend in good faith that you go out and spend your money on something that I'm not convinced is going to work on you. It seems to only work on very specific builds. If you want to send me pictures on Instagram or comment below with measurements, and I can try work out how similar you are to me, or if I try and scale it up or down, if I think this will work for you. I'm not confident in saying you will like this unless you have the exact same build as me, basically, because everyone else seems to be having issues with it. Originally I was like, brilliant, it works for bigger busts. Alphalete never do anything that works for bigger busts. In fact, they just pretend that those people don't exist, and they just give us nipple covers, which is perfect, brilliant, gorgeous. I was originally going with that because that was what I'd been told, but the feedback I'm hearing from people with naturally bigger busts is that it doesn't work. I spoke to Caroline earlier and she was saying that she didn't like the tank, and she's got implants as well, so based off that I seem to be the only person it's working for, so it's too risky to recommend it to you guys. I would wait personally until it's been tweaked, unless you are very confident it's going to work for you, in which case we can rock it together, because I'm going to be wearing the shit out of these. I love how this looks on me, but I don't think it's universally working for enough people for me to be like, yeah, go and fucking get it. Like the baby tees, I could very confidently say, do you know what, fuck it, a few people might not like it, but I love it and I'm confident it's going to work for most people. I love this, but I'm not confident it's going to work for most people. So especially with online shopping as well, like I don't want, returns aren't even fucking free in England. Like we're literally living in the 1800s. So okay, moving on, we've got some very random pieces. Just very quickly actually, there is more OT cut tees and OT cut tanks come in, which I will pop pictures in of what colours those are coming in. For reference, I do an extra small in the OT cut tees, I do a size small in the OT cut tank. I reviewed them in my last video. I compared the tee to the baby tee, and I gave all the information that you need on the racer back, but I'm not going to review those again because I didn't actually pick up any more, because I don't need more t-shirts. Lord fucking knows I don't need more t-shirts, and I love the OT cut tees as like a staple basic. Love them. I've been wearing the shit out of them. Those, the baby tees and the seamless tanks are my current favourite tops. Moving on to the Margo range, Alphalete are in their mesh era. We're doing more mesh. So you've got 3 pieces in this range. The fabric is 65% polyamide, 35% spandex. And it is essentially like, think PE kit basically. Or if you had the mesh lined shorts, it's sort of like the outer lining but less silky. It's not a diamond cut. It's obviously got like the squares with the, sort of like how you'd play squares basically. Did anyone used to play squares, or am I like really fucking sad. I used to love playing, you know, the game. Anyway, I'm waffling. But yeah, and there's no lining on any of these pieces, including the shorts. So just keep that in mind, but it's definitely giving me like PE kit vibes. Not my personal cup of tea. Spoiler alert, I wouldn't personally be picking up any of this, but they're not bad quality. Like, this feels nice. It's a weighty mesh, but it's reminding me of my like GCSE sport days, and that's not a time I want to go back and relive, okay? It's just not. I'm 25, I've got to move on. But yeah, that is the fabric. None of these are lined, so you've got a boxy oversized tee, and then you've got the alphalete wolf tag logo on the side at the bottom of the shirt. I got this in a size small, and I will pop the measurements on the screen so that you know how this sort of fits, but any boxy oversized crop tee that you've ever had from alphalete, it fits the same. The exception being the Republic tee, that was a lot more cropped, but this feels like any of their standard crop tees that they've done in sort of like the oversized boxy fit. In terms of the length, this sort of hits just above belly button for me, so it's cropped but not super cropped. When I move my arms, it definitely does raise up, and because it's mesh and there's no lining, you are going to need a bra under this. So, well, you don't have to pop off, do what you want to do, but I would personally recommend that you wear a bra underneath it. Got it in a size small, I would recommend that you stay true to size. If you want it more oversized, you can size up. If you want it less oversized, you can size down, but this is pretty oversized on me in a size small. I don't really have much else to say about it. I've not like tested out the durability of this. I don't know if it's gonna snag on things easily, but my mesh shorts have been fine. The only issue I had with those was like the printed logo came off. There's nothing wrong with the quality of this piece. It just feels quite random. We're missing core staples. I'm not sure why we're doing mesh. Like, this launch could have low-key been saved if instead of the mesh we had like the core basics line, which is coming, of tight-fitting t-shirts. Like, that could have been a saving grace for the launch. Like, that could have been like, oh, we've got some basic staples in there, but the only basic staple really is the seamless tank, and it's not going to work for like 90% of people. So nothing wrong with the quality of it. If this is up your street, pop off, go for it. Nothing wrong with the quality of it. Not something I'm going to use, not something I would recommend, not something that I am going to get use out of. You then have another top. So this is the Margo mesh tank, and again, it's the exact same fabric again. It does have stretch to it, but it's not like super stretchy. All the girls that I've spoken to were quite surprised by how tight this fits. If you don't want a tight body fit, go up 1 to 2 sizes. I got this in a size small, and it's a tight body fit on me. It's definitely not loose in any area, like it's a tight body fit. So if you want it oversized or like baggy in the slightest, I would recommend you go up 2 sizes. But yeah, it's got a super square neckline at the top. It's a halter sort of cut. It looks really good on the shoulders, I do have to say that. Spaghetti straps over the shoulders, which also don't have like a ton of stretch to them. Like, there's not like a ton of stretch to them. It can be quite tight. I think around the neck it's a little bit tight, it's a little bit too snug. You've got the wolf tag logo on the bottom again, just like you do on the cropped t-shirt, and then at the back it's basically a T-back. This isn't anywhere near as uncomfortable as like the Wonder Bra, where it literally strangled you from the back. Got a lot more give to it than that, but it's not adjustable at all, and it is quite skinny around the neck, so just be aware it can be quite tight, and if you're concerned about that, I would recommend that you try a size up. One good thing about this is I love the cut of it. I find this really flattering. If this was in like a basic fabric, I would eat this up for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Like in a Skims type fabric, I would really like this, but for me personally, it's not that I don't like the fabric, it's just not me. Like, I don't know where I'm wearing this to. Unless you want your nips out, you need to wear a bra underneath it. It's very hard to find a bra that goes with a T-back top. You'd probably have to go strapless if you didn't want to see it. I can see people wearing these to like a rave or the beach, but it's not something that I would want to wear to a rave or a beach. Maybe people are going to layer it with sports bras, but again, I feel like it's very difficult to layer this with sports bras. There's not many that are going to fit perfectly underneath it. Up my street, it's not really my cup of tea in terms of the length. It's quite cropped. It sits sort of just at the bottom of my rib cage. My belly button is out, so it's not like a long crop. It's very much like just like a true standard crop in terms of length. And then the final mesh piece is the Margo mesh shorts. So these have got an adjustable waistband at the top here with a drawstring which is completely plain. It does have like stretch to it randomly, like it's bouncy, but this is completely plain. There's no branding on it, and honestly, like, it feels a little cheap. Like, it feels sort of like a stretchy shoelace, if that makes sense. It just feels very, I don't know, I can't see these being much like retail price anyway, but yeah, it does have an adjustable waistband. In terms of rise, I would say these are a true mid-rise. They're not high-rise on me. If I try to do high-rise, it's giving camel toe, so I would say these are a mid-rise short on me. I've got a little tag on the left-hand side which just says alphalete, so no wolf logo. This one says alphalete, and they are completely split up the side, so these are not stitched together at all. They fully come apart, just so that you are aware of that. There's no lining in them either. These are going to be photographed on the website with a lining or with a short underneath, but please be aware there is no lining. Like, there is nothing inside here. It's just the mesh short. It's not any thicker than the tops. Like, it is still completely see-through. Are a 2-inch inseam. Mine came in with a 2-inch inseam. They're very sort of wide at the bottom, so nice and flowy through the leg. Very short at the back, like very, very, very booty short. My bum is basically out, especially at the side in these. They're very, very, very short, so if that's out of your comfort zone, I wouldn't recommend. Lauren, who was in the meeting, did actually say, because I do want to give feedback from other people as well, it's not my world, it's my channel, but it's not my world. She's a mum, and she basically said sometimes she's finished at the gym and she's got Amplify on, but she feels uncomfortable walking in with such like a tight fitting short, so she actually really liked these for layering over her Amplify shorts when she's doing the school run to pick up her kids. And a couple girls from my Discord said that they would love these for layering, for like hiking and stuff, and for lounging around the house. So if you've got use for them, there's nothing wrong with them. But again, to me, it just feels like a little bit, when we're like struggling to even have core basic pieces, it just feels quite random. Sizing wise for these, I did a size small. I would say these fit true to size. If you want them more oversized or to try and get a bit more length, you can definitely size up, but they're not tight in a size small. Like, they're nice and flowy. If you want to try and get a bit more of a high rise, maybe you can try sizing up, but yeah, for me personally, they're just not for me. I don't really get it. I'm not going to use them. Other people I'm sure will have use for them, but it's not for me. Too short. I don't really like to layer things in this way. And again, the fabric just isn't really my personal favourite. So personally, I'm going to pass on these. Okay, and then finally, we've just got another t-shirt. The measurements for this, which I will pop here, it's the exact same as the particle tee from the last drop. So literally those exact same measurements. That was a size small, this is a size small. The only difference is they're both 100% cotton. This one does feel slightly more lightweight than the particle tee. I could be going crazy because they might be the same, but this does feel lighter. You've got the classic sort of high crew neck line at the top, alphalete in a sticker logo along the neckline, which I do actually really like. It's giving high fashion. And then it says driven by the pursuit of becoming more horizontal, is that the right word? Vertical, down the side, on the side of the chest. I love how plain the front is. And then at the back, you've got that alphalete, sort of like a hypnotic print. For me personally, that's a bit too much at the back. I wish it was plain. I actually really like the front, I just don't really like the back. I will probably wear this tucked all the way around into a sports bra to hide that, because it's just a little bit too much for me. I'm probably going to be wearing this fully out, lounging. It's very breathable, it's very comfortable. It would be a perfect fake tanning t-shirt because it's black and it's light. It's not as thick as the heavy cotton pump covers. If you didn't watch my last video, the sizing on these is much bigger than the heavy cotton pump covers. So I was doing a large in the heavy cotton pump covers. I stay true to size in these. This is a small and it's still very oversized. I would say this runs like 2 sizes bigger than the heavy cotton classic pump covers. So if you had to size up in those, I wouldn't recommend that you size up in these for an oversized fit. You can size down if you want it less oversized, up if you want it more oversized, but if you get it true to size, it will fit similar to how 2 sizes up would fit in the heavy cotton. They do shrink slightly. The length on mine has shrunk about 1 inch from washing. If you need another oversized t-shirt and you like the design, there's nothing wrong with it. For me personally, I don't need any more t-shirts. I'm t-shirted out from the summer of t-shirts and pajamas we had last year. God, the rail looks so funny also. Hi Caprice, how you doing, girl? That's where I put my Fenty lip oil. I literally picked it up to put that on. I've just realised it's over there. But yeah, we've got a Caprice and cappuccino. Wow, I've got the attention span of a fucking goldfish. If you've got the Republic tees, the Grime tees, or the Particle tees, get the same size in this one and it will fit you very, very, very similarly. But yeah, this fabric and the Particle tee fabric, as far as like the 100% cotton blends go, these are definitely my favourite feels, especially this one. I just love how lightweight it feels. But yeah, it's definitely, there's nothing wrong with it. It's probably like the least controversial piece in the drop, to be quite fucking honest. And just to reiterate, I do a size small in these. I stay true to size and it's like the perfect oversized fit. You don't need to size up in these. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that review. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helped to clear up some questions. I don't actually think I've spoken that openly and honestly, especially like the bit at the start. I don't think I've spoken that openly and honestly with you guys for a while. Not that my reviews haven't been honest, it's still very much been my reviews, but I don't think I've actually verbalized how I've been feeling recently about my reviews and stuff. So I hope that it was okay to share that. I never want to come across that I'm complaining about what I do. I'm very lucky to do what I do. I love what I do and I can only do it because of you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Like, I've had a lot of messages on Instagram recently from people who like are very teed off with alphalete because they don't feel listened to, they feel frustrated. Please know, like, I try my best. I think people think I have more say than I do. I think people think I'm more involved than I am. Try to pass on your feedback, but ultimately they are going to do what they want to do. And I will always like champion your guys' requests. I will always champion for them to be doing the products that people want to see, them to be doing better with inclusion, diversity, marketing, for them to be just listening to people. But ultimately, like, I don't work there. I am just an influencer for them, and I never want these videos to come across as though like I hate the brand. It's not true. I don't hate the brand. If anything, I really love the brand and I want to see them on top again so bad. But it's just been really, I don't know why I'm feeling emotional about it. Like, I just feel it's just been really difficult recently. Like, there's been a lot of changes. It's been really difficult from a review point of view, and I don't like feeling like I'm being negative all the time, but especially with this drop, like, it is my least favourite drop that they've done since I've become exclusive with them. I've seen things that are coming up and I know that so much better is coming, and pretty much every request that you guys have is going to be fulfilled. I hope that they are able to speed things up a little bit and bring you guys the things that you've been asking for sooner, because I get it. It's fucking frustrating. You guys feel like you're not being listened to. They're not really being very open. They used to share a lot more sneak peeks. I think it would probably help if they started to tease things that are coming a little bit more. But do you know what? I also understand that some people have just completely felt ignored by the brand and have moved on to other things. And I just want to say, if that's you, I still appreciate you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for me over the past few years. I appreciate... Why am I getting so emotional? Am I due on my period? No, I've just had my period. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. Thank you for just allowing me to keep being me, because I've never had to change the way that I do reviews, and I'm really grateful for that. And I hope that that never does have to change. If it did have to change, I think I'd have to rethink things. Only so much that I can do. Like, if I don't like the product, I can't push it to you guys. Like, I would never do that. So yeah, let me know if you've got any questions on the drop below. Message me on Instagram if you've got any questions and I will 100% get back to you before the launch. I just want to say I have been slow recently with my messages. I've had a lot going on. I will fill you guys in soon, probably in my next video. I hope you guys are good. I hope you are well, healthy, feeling good, feeling fun, feeling fresh. Leave requests and feedback to alphalete below, because I'm 99% sure they're going to watch this video, and I'm 99% sure they're probably going to see the comments as well. So sound off in the comments. Like, tell Tell me how you feel. Tell them how you feel. Happy shopping. If you do use my code, please message me on Instagram so that I can personally thank you and nosy at what you got, because I'm intrigued to see how many people are going for the coochie lines, and I'm intrigued to see this on people. So if you are going for it, no judgment from me. I hope it works for you. I think it will look great on some people that can rock it with pride and confidence, and it's very them. It just doesn't really fit my personal style and my personal taste, and it also doesn't work for my anatomy whatsoever. And as always, I do monthly giveaways for anyone shopping with my code on alphalete. So even if it's not during the drop, if it's at any point in the month, email it to the email below and I pick 2 to 3 winners every single month. Sometimes I do bigger giveaways, but recently it's just standard vouchers because obviously alphalete haven't really been doing many launches. So yeah, send screenshots of any code uses. I do it every single month, so it doesn't matter. But if you've used it at any point in July or you are using it on the drop, please send it to my email before the end of the month. You will be entered and then I will pick 2 to 3 winners. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to and you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.